Well, howdy there, Internet students. We're going to do lesson 6.1b today, transformations. Transformation, the part we're going to focus on today is translations, which is sliding something around, moving it left, right, up, down. So you can read that. So we're going to start by using this rule to translate an object. We're going to add 6 to the x and subtract 4 from the y. That will move the unit 6 units right and 4 units down. Okay, so the point A, we're going to move it 6 units to the right, which I'll put this in red here. That's going to put it, and you can just count the grid over 6, but that's going to put it right there. And then we're going to move it down 4 from there. So we're going to end up right there. Okay? And that's going to be my image of my original point A. And the way we denote the image of the point A is we put a little apostrophe by the letter A. So once again, we went over 6 units to the right. That goes to there. And then we went down 4 units, and I ended up right there. And we're going to call that point A, the image of A, and we use a little apostrophe to show that. Okay, so the coordinates of that point, that new point, are 2, 1. And notice how we use A prime to show that. All right, go ahead and find B, the image of B, and the image of C. All right, here's what I got. So the image of the triangle is 6 units to the right and 4 units down from the original. All right. To write the rule to describe the translation of the points below. So we want to take a 0.36 and turn it into a 0.512. That means that we need to think about what you need to get from 3 to 5 and from 6 to 12. Okay, and also it's the same rule for all of these. We're going to go from 4 to 6 and from 8 to 14. From -3 to -1, and from -1 to 5. So you should notice that we're adding 2 to the x. So in our rule, we write x plus 2. And this number here, the y number, is 6 greater than the x number. So we're adding 6 to the y. And you'll notice that for each pair, the y is always 6 more, and the x is always 2 more. Okay, sometimes you might need a graph. Make a rule from a graph. You're going to start your rule by just putting an x and a y, and then a little arrow. And then think about what's happening to you always go from your original, and you can tell it's the original because there's no apostrophe next to the letter, to your image. So this is your object. Let's label it object. And this is your image. And you can tell the image because of the apostrophes next to the letters. All right? So let's just take one point here and find out how far apart these 2 points are. Okay? From left to right. So we go from 0 on the x-axis to 7. That means it's plus 7. Okay? And then on the y-axis, that same point goes from 2. So we're starting at 2 up to 5. We went plus 3 to get our new C point. Okay? So our rule is x plus 7, y plus 3. And you might want to check that just to make sure it works for the other one. But so let's say I start at this letter B and go over 7. That'll put me right here. That line is 7 units long. And then plus 3 puts me to my image of B. All right. So go ahead and try this one. Write a rule that would make points translate left 2 and up 4. You might want to check your rule with a point. So let's say I start at D and I want to go left 2. You can just draw left 2 and then go down 4. Left 2 up 4. Sorry about that. You would end up with this point right here. And the coordinates of that point are, the coordinates of my original point for D were -5, 2. And if I subtract 2 from -5, I get -7. If I add 4 to the y coordinate 2, I get 6. And that is the point right here. So it worked. Okay? So remember, moving left or right involves the x-axis. And moving up or down involves the y-axis. So if you wanted to move left or right, you're going to have to do something to the x-coordinate. If you wanted to move up and down, you're going to have to do something to the y-coordinate. Finish the description of how a point would translate based on this rule. Go ahead and fill in the blanks. Did you get that? Okay, so describe how a point would translate based on these rules. So write a sentence like this for each of those. Say each point would move blank units to the left or right and blank units up or down. So here's what I'm thinking. Each point in this rule here, each point would move 3 units to the left and 5 units down. On the second one, each point would move 2 units right and 7 units up. So go ahead and summarize what you've learned here, and then you should be ready to try some problems. We'll talk to you soon.